Imagine a world where every second of your life is scheduled. Every meal weighed. Every breath accounted for. Where love is regulated and even dreams are monitored. Welcome to the one state, a mathematical paradise, or a living hell. D503 doesn't think it's a hell. Not yet. He's proud of his place in this glittering glass world. He's a builder, the chief engineer of the Integral, a majestic spaceship that will carry the one state's doctrine to alien civilizations. To him, order is beauty. Numbers are truth. Freedom? That's chaos. A disease humanity cured 1,000 years ago after the 200 Years' War. Everyone in the one state lives in glass apartments, visible to all. Privacy is a sin. Emotion is weakness. Even names are gone. People are just numbers. D503 is content. He even believes he's happy. But his contentment is eerie, a quiet fog of obedience. His journal, addressed to the future aliens, begins as a hymn to logic, precision, and the benefactor, the godlike ruler of the one state. Through his words, you can feel the sterilized calm, the devotion to routine. The numbers march in synchrony. Even sex is rationed by pink tickets and government consent. The one state is built on a single premise. Humans are flawed because they have souls. The only cure? Surgery, the great operation that removes imagination and emotion. No soul, no suffering. Only order. And D503, with his square root beard and unwavering belief in the system, is the perfect cog in the machine. He quotes mathematics like scripture. He doesn't just obey, he believes. But cracks are forming. The Integral, the spaceship he's building, is supposed to spread the one state's perfection across the universe. Yet its very existence hints at a flaw, the need to control something beyond Earth. If their system is perfect, why the fear of what lies beyond? And then she appears. But not yet. For now, D503 is still loyal. Still blind. Still writing his diary like a holy text, unaware that soon he'll betray everything, even himself. Because even in the most perfect cage, the soul remembers how to fly. She walked into his life like an error in the equation. I-330, a woman unlike any number D503 had ever encountered. Sure. Unapologetically free. She smoked ancient, forbidden cigarettes. She smiled with secrets. And worst of all, she didn't believe. From their first encounter, something breaks in D503. The way she mocks the system, the way she looks at him, like she sees something beyond his digits, something human. It's unsettling. His perfect symmetry begins to blur. He's supposed to report her. That's the law. But he doesn't. He can't. Instead, he starts lying. Skipping regulated hours. Meeting her in forbidden places. She takes him beyond the green wall, the barrier separating the mechanical city from the untamed remnants of nature. And there, among the wild and the ancient, D503 tastes something intoxicating. Freedom. But freedom feels like illness. He begins to have dreams, chaotic, vivid dreams. He hides them. He fears them. In the one state, dreams are symptoms of a diseased soul. He consults a doctor, trembling, ashamed, and hears the most terrifying diagnosis of all. He has a soul. The soul, that ancient, dangerous organ the one state tried to burn out of humanity. And now it's growing inside him like a tumor of truth. I-330 pulls him deeper. She shows him the underground, a secret resistance plotting to destroy the one state. She wants to use the Integral to spread not control, but rebellion. To ignite the very chaos D503 once feared. His world fractures. The rational language of numbers no longer makes sense. He begins writing his journal with trembling hands, no longer confident, no longer obedient. He speaks of beauty, fear, desire. Of I-330's lips. Of the curve of her smile. Of the unbearable hunger she awakens. He's not just breaking rules. He's breaking. Yet still, he clings to her. Not for revolution. Not for ideology. But for something even more dangerous. Love. Or something like it. And in the cold, gleaming machinery of the one state, that's the most fatal rebellion of all. Because once a man knows he has a soul, you can't unknow it. D503 is unraveling. The man who once worshipped logic now stares at reflections and wonders who, or what, he's becoming. His journal, once clean and calculated, becomes a battleground of contradictions. One moment he declares devotion to the one state. The next he's sketching I-330's smile like scripture. He is possessed, but not by her. By the soul. Love is not soft in the one state. It is not romantic. It is not gentle. It is hunger, trembling rage. D503 becomes jealous, tormented, desperate. I-330 is elusive, appearing and vanishing like a ghost. She refuses to belong to him. She refuses to obey. And he hates that he loves it. Every encounter with her is electric, dangerous. She plays with power like a flame in her palm. She knows what she's doing. She's shaping him, bending him, testing how far he can fall. And he, poor D503, falls gladly. He starts skipping work, lying. His colleagues notice. He's interrogated, watched. The benefactor's ever-seeing eye is turning toward him. He's breaking the sacred rhythm of the numbers, and in the one state, rhythm is everything. And yet it's not enough. I-330 keeps him at a distance. She uses him, for access, for the integral, for the revolution. But does she feel what he feels? That question burns him alive. He chases her through shadows. Pleads. Fights. Bleeds. His body becomes a battlefield of devotion and betrayal. At one point she's imprisoned, and he offers to take her place. A man who once believed in the eradication of the soul now begs for the right to suffer. But love in this world is not salvation. It's madness. The more he feels, the more the world turns alien. Glass walls once beautiful now feel suffocating. Numbers once comforting now seem cruel. He begins to suspect, maybe the system isn't perfect. Maybe he was never truly happy. Maybe the soul once awakened is not a disease, but a cure. And then he sees it, in the sky above the one state, a bird. A creature with wings. Wild. Free. It breaks him. For the first time he doesn't want to obey. He wants to fly. But in the one state to want is treason. And to feel is death. The world is coming undone. D503 is no longer just a man in love. He is a weapon in a war he doesn't understand. The resistance, the Mephi, is moving and he is their key. They need the integral. They need access. They need betrayal. And he gives it to them. He opens the doors. Not with bombs or violence, but with silence. With omission. With love. For I-330 he becomes a traitor to everything he once worshipped. But the betrayal cuts both ways. As the Mephi rise, chaos floods the streets. The perfect grid of the one state is breached. Nature, wild, green, irrational, spills through the cracks. For the first time in centuries, the citizens see trees, birds, clouds that move freely. And some begin to remember. But revolution is never clean. D503 is captured. Dragged before the benefactor, the cold, merciless symbol of absolute logic. The benefactor does not scream. He does not rage. He simply asks D503 to return to order. To confess. To be healed. The state offers a cure, the operation. A procedure that removes the soul. No more feelings. No more pain. Just perfect obedience. One swift incision and all this chaos, this humanity, can be burned away. D503 hesitates. Not out of fear, but because a part of him still hopes I-330 will come. That she'll save him. That she feels what he feels. But she doesn't come. Instead, he's left alone in the interrogation chamber. Alone with numbers. Alone with questions. Was any of it real? Did she ever love him? Or was he just another tool, another variable in a greater equation? And then, she appears. But not to save him. I-330 is arrested too. She does not beg. She does not cry. She stands tall, defiant, radiant. Even in chains, she is free in a way D503 never was. She tells him the truth. There was no love. Only revolution. He was a means to an end. And with those words, his soul cracks. Betrayed not by the state, but by the one who awakened him. And yet, even in his devastation, a part of him still clings to her. Because love, once born, does not die cleanly. It rots. It infects. And soon it must be cut out. The revolution fails. The green wall is breached, but the state regains control. The benefactor does not tolerate cracks. Not in glass, not in systems, and certainly not in minds. The Mephi are hunted. Executed. Silenced. And D503? He undergoes the operation. It is not a punishment. It is a restoration. A simple procedure. A precise incision in the brain that severs the pathways of imagination. Afterward, the patient no longer dreams. No longer doubts. No longer feels. He walks into the surgical chamber trembling, but not from fear. From confusion. From grief. From the lingering sting of I-330's betrayal. Her absence has hollowed him out, and the state is more than happy to fill the void. The operation is a success. When D503 opens his eyes, he is calm. His journal, once filled with trembling lines and aching confession, becomes cold again, distant, orderly. He writes of the surgery the way a man might describe fixing a broken machine. No sorrow. No regret. Only relief. He He remembers I-330 but without pain, without longing, without anything. She is a file, a fact, something unfortunate but necessary. He reports her location. He watches without emotion as she is tortured in the gas chamber, refusing to name her fellow rebels. She screams. She bleeds. She burns. But she does not speak. And D503 does not flinch. The man who once risked everything for a stolen kiss now feels nothing at all. The integral is back under state control. The mission to spread the one state's perfection to the cosmos resumes. The glass city repairs itself. The pink tickets are redistributed. The people march again in unison, perfectly timed, perfectly obedient. The soul, that dangerous luminous thing, is gone. And yet, Zamyatin leaves us with a question. If freedom can be removed with a knife, was it ever real? If love can be erased by a blade, was it ever love? And if a man can witness horror without feeling, without guilt, without even memory, is he still a man? In the end, is not about rebellion. It is about forgetting. About how easily the human spirit, once betrayed and broken, can be turned into a silent machine. And in the glass walls of the one state, that silence is the greatest victory of all.
Thank you for watching. If this story made you feel something, not just fear, but the sorrow of being unseen, share it. Let this tale live on, not as horror, but as a reflection. Leave a comment with the part that struck you most. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be remembered, subscribe and help us bring forgotten legends back to life.